Mr. Manu Joseph. Okay, so about the book, the author, the artist, it's a psychological thriller, a gripping psychological thriller, I must say.
Serial killers, is police investigations, forensics, there is family relations. There's a lot of that going on.
I guess they must have asked royalty from you that, oh, you have borrowed my name.
They're all friends, they know. So I would say that's partly because I did a lot of research.
Mhm. Which author or book have had the greatest impact on your writing style?
I knew that I could write stories,
Mhm.
but I never really wrote stories just for the
Okay.
fun. So
Most of the books are turning into movies adaptation. So if the artists get a chance to turn into movie adaptation, so what's your dream cast? Hello, welcome, sir.
Hey, hi.
How are you?
Yep, I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm just already doing fine. Okay, so before starting this interview,
Mhm.
there's a little announcement to all the viewers who are watching it. If your comment is liked by the TLB team and by the author himself, then you can win the copy of the book called The Artist by the author, Mr. Manu Joseph. Okay, so about the book, the author, the artist, it's a psychological thriller, a gripping psychological thriller, I must say, which can stay with you for a long time. As I myself is reading through it, I'm halfway through it, so I'm really nervous, excited, and everything I'm going through right now because I know I can't let spoil so much for me also. Otherwise, I'll get so much disheartened if it gets too much spoiled. So, tell us about the book, your story, and everything.
Yes. So yeah, so the book, The Artist, as she said, it's like a psychological thriller. So it has elements. I mean, I'm not saying the entire story, but then
Mhm.
elements of serial killers, is police investigations, forensics. There is family relations. There's a lot of that going on. On the surface, it looks like probably like a thriller, a fast-paced thriller. But one level down, it's also about justice. It's about redemption. It's about karma, and there's a lot of things that comes out through the fast-paced narrative. So at the end, at the base, basically the whole thing is there is like a serial killer, like let's say in Delhi, is notorious, and there is like a police team, special investigation squad who is chasing this person. And then on the other end of the country, in Trivandrum, there's a character who's like a very normal person living a normal life with his family, and something happens, and these two separate worlds kind of collides, and then how does it reconcile and how does it go forward? And that's the whole theme of the book.
As you've already told, these stories, layered with suspense, morality, psychological depth. So, what inspired you to write this story?
Yeah, I think the inspiration should be from like a lot of the different content that I've seen and during my life. So I used to watch a lot of serial killer movies when it was all the craze and all that, right? So some part of those things have inspired me, and this particular story, I remember the point where this seed of the idea came into my mind. Like I was watching this movie with this Korean movie called Memories of Murder, I think, with my wife. So I was just like trying to guess what's going to happen. So eventually it turned out like one of my guesses didn't work out. It was something else in the movie. But then I was like, this should be a movie. I mean, this should be something. And that's when we kind of started. I started thinking about it. Although the story at the end kind of evolved a lot from that seed, but yeah, that's where it originated and kind of took shape into this novel.
Wow, that's really great because as a psychological, I haven't read much psychological thriller books or watched those movies or series, but I love watching murder documentaries. So I know this kind of excitement when I just picked up this book. Okay, so the character of Manas, is complex and is haunted. Was he inspired by someone or entirely fiction? Okay, so before you answer this question, there's a little question like I too want to ask from you. When I was reading this book, and I know the author is Manu Joseph, and when I read the first chapter, and the title was Manas, and I was like, okay, so is the author's name and the Manas is somewhere kind of a coincidence. You have this a coincidence, or it's a deliberately you have done something like that.
Okay, actually, no. But one funny thing or interesting thing about the book and then the people in the book is all the names. Actually, most of the names and the characters are people I know personally.
Okay.
Right? People who I went to college with, people who I know otherwise, etc. Right? Like all of these guys, all of these names are borrowed, but the characters are not entirely borrowed. Like
Okay.
there is there are parts of like any character you write as a writer, right? It would come out in parts. Like some parts of it will be somebody we know, either consciously or unconsciously it comes in. So, for example, like Manas, for example, right?
Mhm.
Uh, some of his viewpoints and things like that is sort of derived from me because I kind of see myself in that character. Some parts of the character, mostly about the love for the family
Yeah.
and the whole
His
the
beliefs.
whole and the whole religion aspect. All of
Yeah.
those things that is sort of from my perspective or my character. Then there are lots of other characters that kind of mix together to become this one character. So yeah, it's not like a single character who is, I mean, real life character who is inspired it, but yeah.
I guess they must have asked royalty from you that, oh, you have borrowed my name.
They're all friends, they know.
Okay, that's good that your friends are supporting you. Okay, you have built a terrifying yet artistic serial killer. How did you craft the artist as a character? Because when I was reading the prologue, and where I must have been like, okay, now that's something terrifying. That's something, artistic also. In the second chapter, also, the way everything goes on. So, how did you manage to do all that?
So I would say that's partly because I did a lot of research.
Mhm.
So in preparation for writing this book, right, I kind of went into a lot of depth in reading
Mhm.
about serial killers, about different accounts that, like, we have many interviews from serial killers. So I
Mhm.
kind of through those. So kind of went into depth into that slightly darker world. So one of the main inspirations is somebody called Ed Kemper. So if somebody has watched Mindhunter series,
Okay.
uh, so although the book and all started before the series, I was looking at the book version of that. But so in that series, you can see the FBI folks. I mean, the two people going and talking to Ed Kemper, who's like a very self-aware serial killer. So he knows what he knows why he's doing. So there's a lot of insight to be had from there. So I was a lot of it was inspired by that character. Some of the backstories and some parts of it were inspired by that character. But then the whole, like, the gimmick or the serial killer flair, that's something that I kind of took some time, racked my brains to kind of give him something unique, and that's the artistic side of the artist.
I think
As such.
that's more gripping in the story, the way it explained the serial killer have done the murders. I was like, okay. Okay. The novel navigates gray areas of morality. Okay. And was that the deliberate theme from the beginning? Because as writing a psychological thriller, you have to write in a such a way, because if you write especially a gray character, so it don't totally convert it into a villainous form. So how did you manage that?
Right. So that's something that I wanted to do from the beginning. because I'm of the opinion that like there are no like heroes and villains, right? Everybody has their own reasons to do it. Like nobody wakes up and say that, okay, no, I'm going to destroy the world because I feel like it. Because there is something behind that whole feeling, and like from some perspectives, if you look at it, they may not be all bad. So that's something that I wanted to bring out. As in, even if you look at the good guys, like there's nobody who's like very very good, right? Like this white knight only exists in movies and some books. So I wanted to kind of stay away from it and make people or make the characters more real. And that's why I wanted to say that, okay, this is a gray book. Like there is no heroes and villains and everything. There are like larger shades of villainous and larger shades of heroes or whatever, right? So it's just basically on the gradient. So that's what I wanted to have it from the beginning of the novel.
Okay. It's like a saying that you just made villains. Like every priest has a past and every criminal has a future, kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice. Okay, so
That's
how?
also why. Sorry, that's also why one of the point of views in the book is from the serial killer's point of view, so
Mhm.
that we understand or we are in his mind and we see things his perspective also, and not just the other perspectives in the police and all of those things, right? So that is why we have that choice of having different povs was made.
That's really good because if you're writing something like that, so you have to have multiple POVs to know, and especially about the the gray characters we are writing, we really need that. Otherwise, we totally take them as a villain of the stories. So
Right,
that's really great. Okay, and how did you balance fast-paced thriller elements with deeper emotional and psychological thread in this story?
right. That was difficult in a sense, because it's very easy to write full on fast thriller. But like I said from the beginning, I wanted to make it uh, lie somewhere between a fast-paced thriller and something that makes people think. Um, I wouldn't say literary fiction, but something a little more emotional. So I was trying to find a middle ground where we do have fast-paced action, but then there are points in there are parts of the book where we just step off the gas for a second and kind of go a little bit deeper into the person, the character, kind of try to find out what is driving him, etc. And then you switch the gears back to the fast-paced thing, and then we go to action. So that kind of um, of a of a structure was something that was deliberately added to make this work.
So what's one line or moment from the book that you're more proud of, or not something proud of, but a line or something which you think can have inspired you or have changed uh, something in you, or you want readers to take that line or a moment or a paragraph from the book.
Hmm. There are a few paragraphs, a few points where I sound pompous, but I was moved by the lines that after when I'm editing, right, when I'm reading it, I was like, this is like a really good line. So that one point was like when like Manas, the character, comes back to his house searching for his daughter and everything, and there's nobody at home. So he kind of calls out to his daughter, and nothing, right? So then there is a line where it says like echoes are not just the sound of like not the ghost of sounds hitting back. Sometimes silence also echoes, and that in that silence, the rest of it is understood. I'm not literate, but then that silence is when Manas is really kind of ruminating or finding like this is something that's really happened and this is the reality. So that's one point. And another point, I was another concept rather than the line, was that I was kind of writing that like, there is like a point where Manas has to decide to do something or not, right? So it says that fear is a biologically necessary thing. right?
Mhm.
It's been ingrained through years of evolution. But courage, on the other hand, is anti-evolutionary because you are going against your base instincts. To kind of fear kind of protects us, right? That's what fear does. But courage protects others, protects somebody that you love or the society or something like that. So that is another concept that I really liked in the book, or at least a few books.
Okay, now that line you have said about the ego, now that's really very nice. And if you think a lot about it, then it's really deep. Thank you for providing such a beautiful line. Okay, as you know, the nowadays most of the books are turning into movies adaptation. So if the artists get a chance to turn into movie adaptations, so what's your dream cast? I was hoping that.
Right. So, the dream cast would be something that I've also thought about. But since the cast might not be very. So it's a pan-Indian cast. I mean,
Oh yeah, obviously.
dream, yeah. So as the hero, probably not the hero, I would not say, but Manas and his friend Pratik. The way I would see them would be there's an actor called Prithviraj in Malayalam.
Okay.
So he and his brother both acts in movies. So that is a very good person because as far as Manas is concerned, you need to be. There is a part of the book where he is young, and then
Mm-hmm.
there is the book where he is slightly older, like a middle-aged man. So there should be somebody who can handle that. So I think Prithviraj should be able to do it, or Fahad Fasil, any of them would be able to do it very well. As far as the artist, the serial killer is concerned,
Mm-hmm.
say somebody like Vijay Deverakonda, the guy in Telugu.
Okay. Yeah, and I know.
Yeah, so he looks very sweet
Okay.
and chocolatey. But if you just look at him a bit, there is some intensity in his eyes, some menace in the
Some
eyes.
darkness there.
Yeah, right. So that's why he is a good character there. And for Nasser, the police person,
Mm-hmm.
I would put somebody who's very gritty and down to earth. Somebody like Manoj Bajpayee, who's excellent in anything he does. So I think she should do that also pretty well. So yeah,
Yeah,
these are
that's
the
the
three
great.
things. Yeah,
Okay. I know the two casts, two actors, so I'm not totally aware about the other two. So yeah, that's something. Please, someone just go and adapt this book into a movie. That would be great.
I hope so.
Okay, so what, like you have already told the message and everything. Okay, so you mentioned storytelling, fascinated you since childhood. Okay, so do you remember the first story you wrote or you imagined in like childhood or in somewhere in your college time or in school time? Like we all have gone through that phase.
Yeah. So I was somebody who like I knew that I could write stories.
Mm-hmm.
But I never really wrote stories just for the
Okay.
fun. So I mostly the one incident I still remember is that when like in school you have to write these compositions or English examination.
Right.
That the choice is between writing a composition on some topic or writing a story with something, right? So at that point, I always used to choose stories because it's fun to write. And some of those stories, like the teachers who taught me, have kind of told me that's very nice story. Like one story that I remember was something about. It's a short story, right? It's basically something about me having a dream
Mm-hmm.
and seeing some girl or somebody there, and then in the real life, I'm seeing that girl, and then something like that, right?
Okay.
Yeah, that's one thing that I remember. But otherwise, I never used to really write a lot until I decided I probably try my hands at this novel. But yeah, that's the story.
We're talking about, seeing a girl in your dreams. Are we going to, see some romantic novels from you in the future? Will there be any chance?
Romantic novels might not be my cup of tea.
Okay.
One, I've not read that
Mhm.
many romantic novels. And secondly, I don't know. I don't know. I've not seen myself write a romantic novel. Maybe, maybe like there might be some. There is some romance in all the books that you have.
Mhm.
Not romance, but then some elements of romance is going to be there. But an out and out romantic movie, I mean, sorry,
Mhm.
book is something that I've not.
Not whole romantic book, because
No,
what I
no.
have read in this book, how much I have read, Manas is also a very romantic, sweet guy. Okay. So, how do your experience from different city across India shape your storytelling?
Right. So yeah, that's something that has helped me a lot because
Mm-hmm.
uh, as part of my studies and work, right, I've worked in multiple cities in the country. So it gives you a lot of perspective to uh, kind of know that okay, this is how. So if you're just in one place all your life, right, you only see that kind of people. But when you go out into different cities,
Mm-hmm.
kind of people that you meet is very different, and that would kind of help you have a lot of different perspectives. And like each city that I've worked and studied in has its own character, and that's also like if it's weather or or the people or the vibe of the city, all are very different. So that kind of helps you in also writing this book, which is also like spanning across different cities, right? It's all across India. So that kind of an exposure would still give you. I mean, that's why I think I might have had the courage to write something like that, which spans geographically. But yeah, it definitely helps you having perspectives and experience.
Yeah, that's right. Because of that you can write a different character based on the cities you have worked in, you have lived in. So that's really great. Okay, so are you a strict writing routine follower, or you just I'm just sitting, I've just got an idea and I'm just going to jot down my thoughts like this kind of a writer, or you follow a strict routine?
I would say something in between,
Okay.
because um, so when I get an idea,
Mm-hmm.
uh, from the point I get an idea to the point paper, I mean pen to paper, that's usually a long gap because I let that idea sit for a while. I then kind of it grows into other ideas.
Mm-hmm.
After I have a shape, right, I actually kind of plan out the entire book in a structured way. Like you have at that time, my room was full of post-its and timelines and things like that. So I like to plan everything ahead of time, but at the same time I do like to leave some amount of room for me, a wiggle room for me, so that when I'm writing I am
Mm-hmm.
able to go and change a little bit as far as I mean when the character uh, develops, the story should develop with it. So I kind of have some room there, but otherwise I mostly follow the structure that I've defined in the beginning. So in that way I am structured. But as far as writing is concerned, especially since like I have work and kind of doing this on the side, so you kind of find time whenever you can, then try to write it. So one thing I was doing that time when I was finishing the novel, one thing I was asking myself to do was every day you
Mm-hmm.
write
Okay.
even if it's a line or two lines, you just write so that like you're not stuck at a point, you're always moving
Okay.
ahead. And especially when writing these long form novel type things, right, that's something that a lot of people who I've talked to and interacted to with has also suggested that just keep writing. The
Mm-hmm.
standard is keep writing 1,000 words a day, but even if you're not able to write 1,000 words a day, you just write. That's what I would say.
Even a line you write, then you don't feel like you are stuck somewhere.
Yeah, right.
So, are you laptop typewriter writer person, or just you need a pen and paper and jot down your thoughts like that? What you prefer more?
So I think when I'm jotting down thoughts and in the planning process, I am a
Mhm.
paper pen guy. I have notepads and things like that. But when I'm really writing, I do it laptop, because no, nowadays I don't write at all. So I might have even forgotten to write. But yeah, I type mostly. Yeah.
I know I am in there. I myself is a tech content writer, and all day I'm just working on laptops. And when I take out my pen and paper, so I just try to write something, so that I don't forget the magic of pen and ink on the paper. So that's really great. You should again start like something with journalizing or something. Okay. So how do you handle creative block, especially when juggling demanding tech career and writing?
Right. So creative blocks. Yeah. So one thing I did not have that much during the writing process was creative block, because I already know how the story is going to go. But when I was planning that out, that time there was a lot of places where I didn't know how to go forward, or how to make these different timelines meet in a well-mannered way. Things like that. That was definitely there. Things that usually help is best thing that have helped me is taking a break. Right?
Okay.
Just take a break from it. Do something else. Don't think about it. And I don't know, go for a walk, run, or what be. Just turn off your mind, and then you come back. Then you'll be a little more fresher, and then you'll see different things and different perspectives. So that kind of helped me in getting over these breaks or these blocks that we have.
Okay, so from a data scientist to a novelist, it's a rare combination which I have seen. Okay, so how do you switch between logic and literature?
Right. So this is a question that I have asked myself for a long time, because I've always had the right side and the left side of the brain. Like I've always fascinated with both. Right. I was always fascinated with math and all of those science and everything. Still am. At the same time, I'm also fascinated with literature. I consume books a lot. I consume TVs, movies, everything a lot. So it's always there, that conflict. Like it was like if I had chosen some decisions in my life slightly differently, I would have ended up in the other side of the spectrum. The other side. So I would say probably this is like writing this book and indulging this creative side is something that I am probably doing to give justice to my other side as well. Right. Right now, at least the bills are getting paid by my tech side, so I have the freedom to indulge a little more my creative side and give it the justice it wants. So that's kind of what I'm doing.
That's really great. So, as you have told that your job is paying your bills, because that's really necessary capitalism. And if with your writing, you are fulfilling your passion, your other dream which you might have. So, how do you tell the other writers or the people who wants to write to, you want to be a writer, to do this thing while having a full-time career, because they do need to pay their bills and they are stuck in between. Okay, if you're writing, so should we leave our jobs and totally indulge ourselves in the writing? So what's your advice for them?
People might not like the advice, but at least personally what I feel is having a writing career sustain you completely is reserved for probably like the 1% people, even less 1%, because very less people really make enough money off writing to kind of really do that completely. So I don't know, me being a safe player, I do have a backup plan, that sort of thing, right? So that's why I was like, let's get this thing sorted, like the job thing sorted, and like after you are doing like what you're liking and things like that for some time, right? You would naturally make time for yourself, because I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I consider work as like a I like to keep my work and life kind of separate.
Mm-hmm.
I put some time into work, whatever is needed to keep the work happy. But then I do the rest of it for me.
Mm-hmm.
That part is what I used to kind of do. Even if it's writing for family, for anything, right? You just kind of find time in your life and start doing it. So even when people who are doing or trying to do this both, right? What I would suggest is, one is time management. Try to find out pockets of time where you really um, do something on your own. Maybe cut down on a couple of series that you watch in Netflix. I mean, I'm saying that is good, but there should be a balance, right? So that is something that you can do to get more time out. And so basically, just if you really want to do it, you would find time. So that's what I would say, because I was doing this while I was married, and I had a kid also in between.
Okay.
So I think you tend to find time in between all of this as well. So I think it's should be fine to.
You have juggled a lot while you were writing your book. Oh, that's really great, because I have just a job, and after that I have some time. But then also I don't do anything extra except then reading. I'm like, okay, I'm tired from my work. I really don't want to do those things. Okay, now that's really inspiring. Thank you so much for inspiring me on this. Okay, so what's harder for you? Debugging code or untangling plot?
I'd say untangling code. Untangling plot points. Debugging code, I mean, after you work for some time, right? It becomes very easy to you. Where to find problems. But yeah, untangling code untangling plot lines is more involving in your brain. Like, you need to do a lot more thinking. Yeah, that's definitely harder than debugging.
So you love watching movies, and you love storytelling. So were you a reader too? Do you love reading?
Yes, I love reading. I mean, the only confidence I had when I started writing the book is that I've read a lot of books, so I know how books work.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, which author or book have had the greatest impact on your writing style?
There are many authors in that way, but one very recent author, not very recent, but George R.R. Martin, the whole Game of Thrones books. He is a brilliant storyteller. Or he's able to create stories like in huge scale, and he's able to in a very engaging manner. Yeah. Am I still audible? I think everything went blank.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll probably continue. So Game of Thrones, that's one thing. So in that, so if you look at my book, right, each chapter is from one point of view. So similar to that, in my in Game of Thrones as well, how G.R.R. Martin writes is very from different POVs, and I love the fact that he made that POVs in such a way that when you're reading one POV, you have no idea what's happening on the other side of the country with some other POVs, and that is something that I really liked, the way it is structured, and that's something that I've kind of adapted, inspired directly. And apart from that,
hello.
Sorry. Hey. Yeah, and that is something that's really like when you read those action scenes, right? You can really see it. You can really visualize what's happening, and that's something that has really inspired me. And I wanted my books as well to be really visual, and So that's something that I try to put in my books.
Okay, and I must tell you, it really gave me visuals when I read some chapter. Okay, so what genre do you enjoy reading when you're not writing thrillers?
Right. I think it's mostly thrillers, obviously thrillers, psychological thrillers, murder mysteries.
Mm-hmm.
Occasionally, I do read a bit of romance, just to kind of get away from the dark and serious side of things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, these and some sci-fi, yes, sci-fi and fantasy as well. Yeah,
Okay.
these are generally the genre that I circle around.
Okay, that explains your love for the Game of Thrones because it's a whole different universe for the people who loves reading fantasies and everything. Okay, that's
Right.
really great because I haven't read it. Okay, so did you face any challenges while publishing and marketing your book?
Yes, because mostly,
Mm-hmm.
right, this publishing is quite difficult, as I understand, especially for a new reader or for a new writer.
Uh-huh.
For example, if you are a new writer and let's say you don't have just the reach that you need to have, let's say for social media or some other reach, right? Like if you're a celebrity or an Instagram influencer, things like that, you like I do understand that part. Like you have a ready market, right? From the publisher's point of view, you have a ready market. That like there's a minimum guarantee, right? For a new writer who is absolutely new and no connections, very difficult to get like a top publisher deal.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing I've realized. But basically, because I've sent this book, I mean this manuscript to first round is always the top publishers, like half a column. So obviously nobody got back. So then I went to a few other publishers as well. Again, rejection, because that's one of the reasons why it took a long time to really get this out.
Yeah.
You send it out, you get rejections, and then you will like, it's okay, we will do it later. And then after some time, you pick it up and then send it to some people else, some other people, and then again rejection. But eventually, what happened was I was reached out to some publisher called Sounds. Who have like a hybrid model. You take some part of the risk and then they take some part of the risk and then do that. So it's like a hybrid thing. It's not full self-publishing. It's not traditional publishing. It's something in between. And they were really happy to get to give this book a chance. Yeah, that's how the whole book publishing journey came to an end. But then when I thought, okay, the book is published, now it's done. But it turns out that's just the starting point.
Yeah, the real challenge is
If-
starting the marketing the book.
exactly. So if you don't do marketing, it's very difficult. Like unless people at least pick up a book or read a book, they don't know whether it is good or not. And so, like initially, it's very important to get it in people, and that is what it's all about right now nowadays. So that's what I'm doing.
Okay, that's really great because I have read some book. I love reading, and the books under Gems books. I just love going to thrift market, thrift stores, and because the books which are not hyped and everything. And I just like why these books are not marketing in a such a way. These are really very great books. So it's really I really get heartbroken that why these books are not are not on the Instagram. Why not people are talking about? And when you told about that you get so many rejections, so I just thinking that how many great stories are not being published yet because
Yes.
the authors haven't got such a great platform. That's really fucked up. Okay, so as we are just concluding this whole interview, so you have been featured on TLB also. You are part of this team. So how do you feel about being the part of the TLB?
Yeah, I think TLB is a good community where like one thing that I like about TLB is that like they really made a kind of instead of out and out commercializing it, they kind of made like a community where everybody is like it's genuinely encouraging authors to kind of in front of readers. That's something that's really great that's happening there. And yeah, that's like, there should be something like that, some community that like, really helps indie authors to yeah.
I have talked to some other authors too from the TLB team, and they have always said me the same thing only, that it's really great because the other authors are supporting you in there. It's not like someone else is pulling your legs down, like, no, you shouldn't be, promoting your book or something like that. But they feel encouraged because other authors are supporting you, and that should be great. Okay, thank you so much for being our part. Okay, so I have already asked you what's next, a new genre or something totally unexpected from your side.
Yeah, I do have some thoughts, but as always, it takes some time for me to really put it together. But the thought process right now, it might change in the future. But the thought process right now is a kind of like a dystopian world. And an action. I mean, the action thriller part. I'm sticking with that genre, but I'm just trying to do it in a dystopian world and have like take that as an opportunity to do social commentary as well as have like a fast-paced narrative. That is something that I am kind of ruminating and thinking about it. Yeah.
Okay, that's really a dystopian world. Okay, now that's something great about after this psychological is a different book from you. So are we expecting it, in next year or next to next year?
Maybe next to next year, because I just had my second kid, so I would not have time for now for this for some time. But yeah, next year I would probably start thinking about it and putting it down in series. Probably I don't know. I write once I get the structure done, right? I write pretty okay, fast enough. So I think I should be able to do it next year.
Okay, till then we'll just love to support you, the artist, and we'll be really happy if you write this book as soon as possible. We love to read that. So thank you for joining today and have some time to talk with us about your book and everything. Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks a lot for having me, sir.
And others who really love reading psychological thrillers and about murders and investigation, everything, please go and read The Artist by author Manu. So you will really, really love this book. Thank you so much, sir. Have a great day.
Bye.